video. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna just jump right into this trade. Just a little backstory. I love buying into the Asia market session and letting it run overnight. I like finding a good entry, whether it's off a high, off a low, getting into that trade and just letting her take off, and opening up the computer the next day, and I'll set my stop right away at break even. We'll get into it. You can see, all right, right here, I'm up 11,200 right here on 10 contracts. So this moved fast for me, so it got me up there, so I'm at break even quick. I didn't have anything to lose, so I could close the computer, and you see we just danced up to 9 EMA. My EMA is finally aligned right here, about 8:30. I turned on the computer. It was about 10:30ish, I think it was. Where are we at here? Because I was right here when I turned the computer on. Yeah, about 10 o'clock. I knew one of two things was going to happen. New York, it's going to open up. I had already created some space through here. Either it was going to pull down, stop me out, no big deal. I didn't lose anything. Or it was going to take off in the other direction. Well, it took off. I was as high as a little over 13,000, pulled back down to about 9. Now we're back up to 11. Why did I take this trade? All right. First off, I love to mark imbalance and fair value gaps. My sell side liquidity down here, you see market 350, at close we'll call it 5. We were right here. Okay, so at 6 we started really bullish. Boom, she just takes off. Right here you have fair value gap. She took off. Boom, bust through that immediately. Broke through it so aggressively. We kind of knew that it was going to continue more. Anytime we get that kind of aggressive movement. I don't have this one marked, but right here there's another fair value gap that price blew through. A fair value gap is basically an imbalance where institutions have stepped in. They moved the price so quick that there's orders that are still left there. Price loves revisiting those areas. Won't always, but absolutely loves it. We created these two on this sell-off yesterday. So they were sitting here, and you can see what price did. This one that we created here, what I noticed, we came up, and I did get smoked on a few trades right here, thinking we're just getting a little pullback right on the trend line. We was going to continue up into these fair value gaps. Well, no, it pulled down, and then I noticed she come down into this gap and targeted. It took forever. If you've traded Asia, you know how slow Asia session can be. But what I looked at here, okay, why did I hop in going back up? Let me show you why. Okay, on this fair value gap, what I look for when I look at these fair value gaps, remember it's a probability game. I look for a close through the gap to signal to me that I'm going to get a continuation, just like you do an orb, right? Same thing. Well, I had this wick down through, rejection, came back, tested again, rejection, rejection. Really nice bullish move up here. Take off right here. This is why I entered it. This is one of my favorite trades, and I can take you through the charts to show you entry on this. I call this an inside bar. This one's close, not quite, but on the inside bar, I'll show you some examples of how easy it is just to make money on an inside bar trade. I seen this, boom, we created another fair value gap right here, rejection. I get strong move back up. We get this little stall right here, and as soon as I seen momentum split here, I entered, and then boom, we're running. So we created another fair value gap, and we just took off. Boom, fair value gap created here. So the institutions are stepping in and pushing price through. This fair value gap was filled. We have another massive one right here. This one's a really big fair value gap. This fair value gap, I can almost guarantee you, will be filled at some point in time, whether it be today, tomorrow, the next day. I watched a massive displacement about the size of these two candles for about a week. Price took off. I seen it flatten out and consolidate, and then just a sell-off straight down to it. You're talking about a 700 point run, just boom, right down into it. All right, so we got this one right here. And this is what I do, man. I mark areas of rejection, highs, lows. I don't even really mark highs and lows, to be frank. Um, I mark areas where price dropped to, bounced, reversed, where it ran up to, bounced, reverse. And that's what I look for. And then I look for multiple areas where we have multiple hits. Multiple hits tell me, that buyers and sellers, have a really big interest in this area. So last night when I was trading, you could see our volume profile was big right here. So we were creating all these hits right here off this level. I noticed that's where my entry is. Boom, down, down through it, up through it, back down through it. We have a hit, 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 off of it, rejection, down, another attempt back at, nope, rejection, down, fair value gap, right back up to it, hit, then we finally break it, pull back down, and then bust through it. So this was acting as, at one point, a support, another point, a resistance level, and then finally, buyer stepped in and just completely took over. I watched my EMAs. Okay, EMAs do not indicate whether I should get into a trade or not. However, they help me identify trend. So our current trend is obviously up, and we can see on a nice uptrend or a downtrend even, price will just follow and use this 9 and this 21 generally as a support. And it'll just keep bouncing off. And we get these breakthroughs right here, back up in here. Right now we're up 11. When are we up? About 11.5 here. We have these real small fair value gaps right here. These things can come back and bite you when you're targeting. I've had these where I didn't see them, and I was in a trade and I didn't know where the price was going to stop, and I didn't see a tiny little gap like this, and sure enough, price ran to it, boom, hit it, and then reversed on me. And I got reversed on because I wasn't sure where price was going, or I didn't have at least a target to where I had an idea where price could potentially go. You see, we're creating these gaps. These are institutions, this is smart money, as you call it, stepping in, creating these massive moves. Where else do I want to show you? Okay, I showed you fair value gaps, I showed you the bounce, I showed you why I got into this trade, because this momentum. Dude, I don't like entering trades up here. I will not do it. I've just been smoked too much. Now you can get a really strong momentum move and it just keeps, going. It happens, but more times than not, it does not. You get this chop after a move. I call it compression. You generally get a really strong move, you get some compression, get a strong move, get some compression. Oh, here's the example from earlier. This is where I really started paying attention. Once this rejected, I got this real nice move here, and then I got this tight compression right here. And then once I seen this here, I knew that buyers had stepped in and really started taking control and were pushing price. I seen sellers step back and try to push, but we held at this EMA, and then immediately buyers pushing price again. We had this real strong pullback down into the 50 EMA, rejection over here. We wicked out, and then boom, just another hit. And at that point, I was like, yep, all right, we're continuing the uptrend. I knew my overall bias was up because of this move right here. I seen the sell-off, boom. The trend is down overall if you look at the higher time frame. But I seen the strong move up, so from here to here, I created a uptrend. Right, so technically this move right here is just a damn pullback within the uptrend. Right, so we had this pullback down into this fair value gap, rejection. My target, if we would have closed through here, I would have targeted this sell side liquidity, but we didn't need to. There was orders sitting here. They came down, got the contracts at a lower price, and just took off to the roof. We're up 12.3 right now and still pushing. I'll let this thing push. What I like to do, bro, when I get in trades like this, I get into the positive as soon as possible. So once this hit like this and I got into here and I seen this pull back and this continuation, you know, my stop, I pull it to break even and I'll let it run. Like I said, here you can see, all right, so what happened, I hit this all the way up here up into around this 13,000, almost 14,000 mark. I pulled back real strong. And once I came back up into this area, I moved my stop in here because that's the minimum amount I was willing to take on the trade. Then at that point, I'm like, all right, I see you rejected here. You're coming back up. To protect my capital from you eating me completely up, because I've seen it happen before. It comes straight up like this and pulls straight back all the way down. You know, I locked in 86.93 in profit. But we got that nice bounce, pull back, and we're continuing up into here. This is right into, she's running towards this fair value gap that was created on this down move. So what I'll do, I'll watch and see how price responds here. Am I just going to wick through it, you know, and get a rejection and then reverse? Or am I going to blow through this fair value gap? If I blow through this fair value gap, then my break of structure then becomes right here at the top, you know, my previous high. And then I'm looking to make higher highs from there. All right, bro. Hope that helped you a little bit, man. If you have any questions, let me know. Dude, I'm happy to answer anything I can for you. Shit. Computer malfunction, bro. Bear with me. Whoa! I canceled my orders. Not better not have. Oh, shit. I'm trying to get the recording to stop. There it goes.